Hello, this is Robert Hunt, Superintendent Chagrin Falls Schools, and today I am joined by a special guest, our middle school principal, Mrs. Discenza. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am great. Thanks for taking a minute to talk to us about life in the virtual environment. Before we get to the middle school, how has this been for you personally?
I've been pretty good. At times I feel pretty overwhelmed, and other times I feel pretty calm. So I always look for the positives and stay busy and stay for things that provide normalcy. So when I get into schoolwork, it just feels so normal to me that you kind of almost forget about some other things, and that helps. And I also try to, take advantage of any snuggles time that I have with my kids and plan activities, but also really cherish any type of impromptu family Zoom or anything that comes up.
So, we're all in this boat of balancing family in the household and working. How has that been for you?
That's been good. It helps that I'm a planner, so I can try to structure that as best I can. The day could look like I can get my 2-year-old fed and ready and my 5-year-old on her home instruction and go down into the office and work my school day if my husband's home. If he's not, then we have to do all that same thing together at the kitchen and balance it and just kind of extend your school day throughout the whole day so that everybody can get everything done.
So I think a lot of people would be interested in kind of what does the normal, work day look like for you as a building principal?
I always go into the classrooms. If I did that in school, I just do that virtually now, and I look through all the teachers' online classrooms, see what they've posted, check out assignments, and then I just start going through students' assignments and looking for things that they're doing, and then trying to give them shout outs and their teachers shout outs. So I can still talk to them. I still create the morning announcements, trying to, again, provide some normalcy and put some of those things on the 7th and 8th grade classroom. I research and look for resources that to our middle school classroom for our teachers. So really trying to be a support to students, parents, and staff. Leading those meetings, whether going into team meetings, staff meetings, team leader meetings, district meetings, chatting with other districts and seeing what they're doing, spending time with Mr. Patterson virtually so that we can check in on kids and start providing opportunities and being proactive based on things that they say that they need. Just really trying to also continue with your regular, whether it's making sure you're ready for next year's schedule, working on the budget, making sure you order things. Even I'm still planning for the end of the year. We don't know what's going on, but I'm planning like I'm going to see all the kids. And so any type of end of the year activities and awards banquets, I'm still working on.
Yeah, so talk about kind of moving into the virtual environment, and we moved there very, very quickly. How has that gone for the middle school? What types of things have been maybe were easy and you felt very confident, and what's been maybe really challenging in the environment?
I felt confident in the building, the leadership, that we have so many teacher leaders and we have so many people that have really specific skills that are seen really highly upon by their peers. So when we talked about these are things that we need to do, there were many people that were able to guide and provide support. And we just have a very welcoming, open environment where teachers always put kids first. And so it was a really wonderful surprise to see that everybody jumped in with 2 feet. There wasn't any hesitation. It was like they knew exactly what needed to be done for kids, whether they haven't done it before, they were unsure what was going to work, but they kept the mentality of we're just going to keep trying. We're going to do this for the kids. We're going to take feedback. We're going to try different things. We're going to share out different things, and we're going to make it work. We had a really great district vision. We have a really good tech support program that I think whether it was just a small team, a building team, a district team, everybody was really able to work together for one common goal.
What about challenges? I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that this is not the ideal educational environment. And we believe in the connection with kids in Chagrin so much, but what's been the most challenging part maybe for you or for your staff so far?
The challenging part for me is being able to really work thoughtfully on projects. I always had a mantra, kids don't get a do-over. So anything you're ever going to roll out, this is their one shot. They don't get a chance to do it over again. So trying to be as thoughtful about it as possible and do your research and take your data, but then to also do it within a time period that fits for kids while everything is changing. You get ready for something, something else is thrown at you, and you have to completely change what you were working on. And you want it to be thoughtful and right for your kids, but you're sometimes in these type of situations, your kids need you right now. So trying to find that balance to put out what we need for our kids as the environment continues to change. And with middle schoolers, they're young adults, and they're not the 5 or 6 year olds that need their parents to help them log on and understand how to work Zoom or anything like that. And they're not high schoolers either. A lot of times we always think middle schoolers are junior high kids and we're preparing them for high school, but they're not. They're young adolescents right now, and they need support too. And they also need a lot of support with others. They really strive on relationships and connections right now, sometimes more than any other group. So, still trying to identify middle schoolers can't just do it on their own. They do need guidance, and they do need support, and we do need to put things in place so that they can feel really connected.
So there's a book I read years and years ago. It was called The Roller Coaster Years, and it was about the middle school student and kind of the ups and downs of that. And this has been a dramatic change for the students in a very important developmental time where they rely so much on friendships and social interactions. What are you seeing? What do you recommend to help if I have a middle school child? Maybe not even in feeling isolated, just in their own development and growth. What's really important right now?
Is that what they're really open with their family, or that they reach out to any of the caring adults in our building, whether it's a teacher that they want to join on the hangout with, or Mr. Patterson, or myself, or just really staying connected, making sure that they're still talking to people, but sharing the ideas that they have about how to kind of continue those relationships. And, so far, I think they're doing a really great job of that. And it's been great that Mr. Patterson has kept his guidance advisory council around and has surveys to the kids to really say, what are you feeling right now? What do you need right now? We've had a wonderful response of kids being open and honest about that. And we started this week trying to plan what can we do proactively in place so kids can start to just continue to feel connected. When they get withdrawn, or if they feel angry, or if you don't see them motivating, that's the time to kind of bring them back in. And instead of trying to tell them, well, this is how it is and this is how it's going to work, just change it and give them what they need socially and emotionally. And that's just talking about things, being active, even trying some of the new apps where they can get on and watch Netflix with their friends and talk about the movie they just saw. And so just trying to see those things, and always talking to your child, and then always asking your child to, reading your child and asking them to talk to you about what they're feeling.
So if I hear you right, I mean, this is a time where the student starts to try to isolate themselves and maybe lean into their social group a little bit more, but they're kind of ebbing and flowing back. As a parent, it's really important to kind of stay engaged and maybe a little more aware of what that isolation looks like. Is it isolation with friends, or is it just isolation and getting the help they need?
Right. And it's really difficult because middle schoolers, the way that their brain's still working, they don't always make great decisions, and we know that. And they're on their, device times, and there's really positives to social media, but now we're kind of in an area where they're with their devices a lot. So it's really important too that you want to have those connections, but we want to try to balance and have some of those face-to-face connections too, even if it's with family, or even if it's with a guided Zoom with your distant family, and your family can see that you're doing that, because at school, they have the ability to come to the cafeteria and see others. So we want to try to set as much up as that possible where there's still some face-to-face versus everything being on their screen.
Great. You've sent me some things, and I've been able to kind of follow some of the activities that your staff are doing. Give us a couple of highlights, some things that are going on that you're really proud of, and from a teaching standpoint, and how is your staff reacting to being, in this environment?
They're thinking all the time. I'm getting emails, whether it was spring break late at night, that, I tried this, I'm thinking of that. Or what's really been great is they're meeting on their own in small groups and content groups, trying to ask, how did you use Flipgrid? Did that really work? Talking to kids to say, hey, will you kind of try this out for me and give me feedback? Do you think this could work on a small group? So they are really diving in and trying things. And so that's what's been really nice. I've also liked the way a lot of the teachers have tried to incorporate and balance some of that academic stuff, putting some fun different Kahoots and Quizlets out there just to learn more about each other and kind of get involved in ways that aren't always in the academic setting. And then when they are really trying to give specific feedback, it was really wonderful yesterday that when I went through, I was able to look at a lot of private comments that teachers were putting, and they were such specific feedback about the assignments that were turned in, and giving students that time for revision where they can try it on their own. They can still reach in with the teacher. They can turn it back in to see if they're, growing towards mastery. So even if we're not in the classroom setting where you can easily grab a student and talk to someone, they're still trying to do that environment and give those kids the same opportunities. Kids want to call in and hang out. I know one teacher spoke to an hour for a student because that's what they needed. So they're giving students what they need. They're trying to do things that aren't always on the screen. We've had science teachers and have had kids go outside and look for certain things in their environment to kind of post it to create an app so that as you go through and you take a picture of a plant, you are populating, a type of encyclopedia that can tell you exactly what plant that is. So that I think that teachers really wanted to get creative about and really wanted to try, they are trying it now. Those who never use Screencastify, they are, and they're going to do it until they feel like they want to try something else if they think their students need it. So there's been some really creative ideas in the classroom for the kids.
So yeah, it sounds like from what I'm seeing, it's constantly evolving. They're constantly looking for tools and trying to grow in this environment to engage kids.
Yes, yeah, they're thinking about that, and they're taking feedback from students too. And I think the students have been wonderful. They're always sending emails or adding information on the bottom of their classrooms to share what they liked about it and how they can work through things.
So you talked a lot about kind of what a parent can do in that experience of isolation or being involved. Anything on the academic side? I know middle school students start to function on their own. They log in. It's hard for a parent to maybe even keep up with that. What type of things should a parent be doing on the academic side to ensure that the students are completing and doing everything that they need to do, and they can be kind of engaged in that process?
Yeah. Routines build that capacity for things to become secondary for everyone to do. And the more routine it becomes, the more committed to memory it is. And so the routine of how do you start your day, which we're going to send out some things this weekend to kind of help these check sheets really do work. Having a schedule, it really is great because, again, like I said, it's committed to memory. You can do it without thinking. You know exactly how to log in. You know exactly where to look. You know exactly how to start. All of our teachers are there for the students and parents to reach out to. But our teachers are putting their grades in Infinite Campus. And right there, if you click on it, they are putting in the comment section not just the feedback, but maybe why the grade looks the way it is, or an M for missing. So if someone's sitting around thinking, I think I have everything and I'm not sure, they can check Infinite Campus and say, oh, I did forget this. Or I wonder why this grade looks the way it does. And they can click right there and it'll say exactly what it is. And to, also when you need to go and you do your work, it's really important that you do everything that you would see in a classroom. So a lot of times they're seeing the assignment, and I get it. They're middle schoolers, there's the assignment, I can do it. And they hop right on that. It's class where there's instruction, whether it's a day or a mini lesson before, and the teachers are putting that on there, whether they're videos or activities or ways to collaborate with others. It's really important that the students take that opportunity because that's building their knowledge. The assignment that was given was just interaction with the knowledge. And sometimes if they just want to jump into it and see if they can do it, they're not doing it as well as they can. And then when they do submit it, they need to kind of look back and see how they did because those revisions are there. So to treat this environment just like you would in the classroom, the teachers aren't expecting students just to do assignments. They are expecting them to do some of the pre and post activities too.
Great tips. Is there anything else I didn't cover that you want to talk about?
We miss the kids. I think everybody feels that. We talk about them all the time. It was, at least nice when I walked through the building. Prior that, all their pictures are hanging up on the wall. So it didn't feel like they were completely gone. Everywhere you walked, they were still there. But we do miss the kids. We're working to do whatever we can. Again, they don't get a do-over. So we want to do this the best and most thoughtful way that we can for them. And today is National Find a Rainbow Day. So they come out after storms. So I do feel that there are brighter days ahead for everybody.
Awesome. Well, Mrs. Discenza, thank you so much for everything you're doing, your staff is doing. It's been amazing to watch how quickly our staff and our building leaders have stepped up to the plate for students in our district. I know there's a lot of balance and juggling going on for us all right now, and please extend to your staff my appreciation, our appreciation.
I will for sure.
All right. You have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.